Hello everyone, today I'm gonna show you how to recreate this beautiful nail set. I love the colors, the different fun characters, and don't worry, it's very beginner friendly. So as you can see, we start with the mat that is gonna protect whatever's under it because we don't want to stain nothing. And shout out to Double Rhythm. They have this ice cream gel nail set that is absolutely stunning, and those are the colors that we're going to be using today. As you can see, I already selected the size of the nails. We're going to buffer them as always. Now you can or cannot do this step, that depends of what you want to do. If you want to sell them, I highly suggest you do it. That's just going to make sure that everything is just well prepared. All the product is just gonna stay, it's gonna stick to it, and it's just gonna give out that beautiful finish but also good quality. And it's not that visible, but I start with both sides of the nail and then I finish like the center of the nail. I don't know why, it works for me and it makes it way like easier and faster to do it. And now with my nail drill, I'm just gonna correct those, you know, in the tip of the nail. Sometimes they have like some plastic residue and some imperfections, so I'm just going through every single one. I also like to feel each nail to see if it feels real, like I told you, because I'm selling them. Me personally, I just like the fact that if it feels real, it's better. Because there's some other nails that are very thick and you can definitely tell is a fake nail, and that's something that I do not want to do, at least for what I'm selling. And as you can see, we're just applying the nail stickers so we can attach them to the nail holders. This step always takes me forever, but I feel like every time I'm getting better and better at it. So now, as you can see, everything is where it needs to be, and we're gonna start with the base coat, again from Beetles. Try to apply the base as thin as you can. The thinnest layer the better. Remember, this is only to prep the nail, so we can just put on the first layer of gel, and it's not that deep, it's not a big deal, because the thicker you put that base coat, it's gonna take forever to dry. And then you're gonna be wondering, like I did, does my UV lamp work? So you don't want to go through that. Look how beautiful they look all prepped. Now the first one is gonna be the A1389 Double Rhythm Gel Polish. I know you cannot see it too well in the camera, but I got you. Since it was my first time using a different brand, I gotta say I loved this brand way more than Beetles. Beetles is very beginner friendly, but Double Rhythm, it's on a different level. Look how just one coat looks like. If I would have that same color on the brand with Beetles, it would have taken me at least 2 coats. But with this brand, it's just one layer, and it didn't have to be a thick layer. It was just a very thin layer, and look at that coverage. It was just, I loved it. I was obsessed with it. Now, as you can see, I'm just going over the nails that I'm just gonna use that base color. For me, it's very organized, and I've learned that the more organized you are with the things you do, it's gonna save you up a lot of time. Now we're gonna move on with the next color, the A1545. It is the most beautiful white cream-ish color. I think this is my favorite shade of white as of right now. And look at the coverage again. Just one coat and it looks already beautiful. Moving on with our second to last color, it's the A1064. It's a yellow, and as you can see, it's a very creamy yellow. I, again, love it. Last but not least, we got the 228. This one is actually from Beetles, and this is the color we're gonna be using for the different designs. As you can see, it's kind of like a blood-ish red. It's very beautiful. Now for the first design, we're gonna be making the bow. You can think it as if you are drawing the infinite symbol or the number 8. That's why I had to like turn it over around. Whatever works best for you in your mind, it's gonna work out, I promise. Now, what was hard from this design was making it as thin as I could and going through it again, making sure that it was thin, because you know that every time you go through it over and over to make it more like that color more strong, it tends to become now thick. The lines become thick. So honestly, I had to go over it maybe 2 times. Now we're gonna start drawing the heart. The heart was pretty easy. The only tricky part was the little swirl that it had in the middle, because I don't know if you noticed, but the whole point of all of these different designs on the nails is to make it look like it was drawn, not perfect. You gotta make it look like maybe a kid drew it, which I think I mastered that part, as you can see, because definitely it doesn't look perfect. But that's the whole point of it, at least for this design. Now this part gets very interesting. It's gonna be the lines that are gonna end up looking like the little squares. Try to make the lines as consistent as possible. That means that no thick or thin lines, but all of them look exactly the same. I had to go through it a couple of times, but I'm not saying make it perfect, just as consistent as possible. I really like the thick lines for this one, so that's what I did. Once you're satisfied with the first set of lines, just leave it like that and cure it like that. Don't try to make both lines to make those squares on the first run, if you can see it that way. Now we're gonna start doing the hearts. As you can see, I'm using the dotting tool to make 2 dots next to each other. That's gonna make it easier for me to just see where the hearts are gonna be. And as you can see in the reference, some hearts are bigger than the others. So I started with the big ones and I kind of like freehanded the little ones, and that's how it looks like. And you didn't see it, but I'm shaking because it took me 5 times to get to that point, but you didn't see it. And now I'm adding the other lines to make those beautiful squares. This is when it gets interesting, because you really want to make sure that the squares don't look too weird. In the reference picture, they looked really small. I didn't want to make them too small, so I just went with what was my personal preference. But if you want to make them small, then make those lines kind of like way closer together. Now this is my favorite part. It's the character design. We are gonna start first with the bunny, and for the bunny I'm using the dotting tool. I know maybe some of you are questioning my methods, but listen, if that works for me and it gets me where I need to be, then it works. And for some reason the dotting tool has helped a lot recently with many designs. And this is one of them. It just, look, I was able to create like a really, really nice shape. Then I honestly, I don't think I will get it with the brush, but that's just me. Maybe you are just way more skilled with the brush. And as long as what you're making is something that you like, it really doesn't matter what's gonna be the tool that you use, because at the end of the day, it's just the outcome that matters. And as you can see with the dotting tool, I'm also removing any bubbles, any just weird stuff or imperfections, and I'm just making sure that everything is smooth. Now we're starting with the dog. Again, I'm using the dotting tool and I'm creating a circle first. I think something I forgot to tell you for the first character was it's better to start with the face and then the add-ons like the ears and stuff like that. So I really like to start just with a circle and then I start mapping it out like that to see how it's gonna look like, the amount of space it's gonna take with the nail. And because the nail is very curved, honestly sometimes that what we have in mind, it doesn't end up being what it is on the nail, just because we don't take those things into consideration. And this is something that I learned, at least for this design. Now we're just using a plain black, and we're gonna just put the 2 dots for the eyes and 1 dot for the nose. I repeated this step like 30 times because I just didn't like the way the face ended up looking like, but I'm just showing you what I ended up choosing. And it was just putting those 2 dots for the eyes very apart. I think that made it look really cute, and the nose kinda lining up where the eyes are. That face just ended up being super cute. So now I'm just adding the top coat. I'm gonna cure everything and I'm gonna show you the final result. And this is it. What do you guys think? I had so much fun making this set. I can definitely see myself wearing it anywhere, everywhere. And this is it. I had so much fun recreating this set. Thank you so much for being here with me. And please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, you know the rest. Thank you so much for watching.